Bethesda is one of the biggest gaming companies of all time who released iconic games like The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion, Skyrim, and Fallout 3. Those games are really good where the open world and narrative were very impressive. But one big fat complaint that I have against Bethesda is that they never ever upgrade at all.
Matthew, you're gonna change your style of playing.
If you look at other big companies like Rockstar, Capcom, and Ubisoft, they have evolved really greatly from their beginning over time. Look at Capcom's Resident Evil games for an example. They started the franchise as a fixed camera type game. The first Resident Evil games had real-time 3D polygonal characters and objects. They did a pretty interesting trick there. If you have to render the environment, then you need a higher video memory. Back then, normal consoles and PCs didn't have that much video memory to process high-quality rendered environments. So what the devs did was they used pre-rendered backdrops with fixed camera angles.
Oh, that's clever!
So their games were way more impressive looking than the games that used real-time 3D to render the environment. After some games with fixed camera angles, they made the revolutionary Resident Evil 4 with the over-the-shoulder third-person gameplay. That was the first game that introduced that over-the-shoulder style. It was crazy impressive and the gameplay style helped to enhance the immersion for the players, as that style felt like players were really in that environment and the enemies felt so close and real.
¡Por allí! ¡No dejes que se escape! Vayan por detrás.
It became one of the greatest video games in the history of video games. So they used the same style for a few more games. After some years, they released Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which was the blueprint for their modern approach to the series. It was unbelievably groundbreaking. It was more impressive and captivating than so many open world games. The world design, the enemy AI, the scripted events, and the modern approach of the gameplay. Everything was impressive as hell. This is why Resident Evil is still one of the greatest series of all time, and the latest Resident Evil game, the Resident Evil 4 remake, is one of the best horror games too. Thanks to Capcom for evolving with time.
Thank you very much. You did a great job, sir.
Now look at Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed series. When they released the first game of the series in 2007, it was another remarkable game in video game history. The Parker-based gameplay, the brilliant mix of history and fiction, was very much appreciated by the gamers around the world. What they did next was a brilliant step. They didn't get over their heads too much but just focused on improving the gameplay in the next few games. They introduced a new game mechanism like the glider, multiple assassinations, brotherhood support, naval combat, grappling hook, and many more.
There's so much to do, so many things to see.
Finally, when their previous style games started to sell less, they changed the series to an RPG series. Their first RPG style approach, AC Origins, received positive reviews from everyone. That was a beautiful game with a strong narrative and modern combat. After that, Odyssey and Valhalla received negative reviews from the fans and they listened to their fans. They completely changed everything in their latest game called Assassin's Creed Mirage. They went back to their roots and focused on a stealth-based gameplay with the Middle Eastern backdrop. This is how you evolve a series with time.
Yeah, that's right. That is how you do it.
The same thing happened with Rockstar. They got a very interesting idea and made a game like Vice City, but they didn't keep making the same game again and again. They improved the formula with the San Andreas, GTA 4 and GTA 5. Day after day, every single mechanism was improved. They did the same thing with RDR1 and RDR2, an interesting, brilliant game that had one of the best sequels ever. It is how you improve. Now let's get back to the Bethesda big titles like Skyrim, Fallout, and Starfield. All of those games have the exact same style of game design. Now you can argue that Skyrim is a medieval fantasy game from 2011 and Starfield is a modern space adventure game from 2023. How both of their game design can be similar? But this is the saddest part. Why should their game design feel exactly the same? Why can't they improve the games?
We are doing our best.
If a 2003 game shows a loading screen every time you get from one interior to another, is that acceptable? Games like RDR1, Witcher 3, GTA 4, GTA 5, and Resident Evil 7 threw away the loading screen problem a long time ago, but Bethesda couldn't. I was playing a mission in Starfield that occurred in a spaceship where I had to go to different places in the same spaceship. Every time I went from one place to another, there was a loading time. That was frustrating as hell. And you cannot go from a planetarial environment to space seamlessly. No Man's Sky did that in 2016, but Bethesda cannot do that in 2023. They didn't even improve the graphics at all. Fallout 4, Fallout 76 and Starfield have the same type of graphics.
It's not the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Hardly any improvement at all. The enemy AI is horrible in every single game. And Starfield, the enemy AI is a disgrace. It is a crime to have this type of stupid enemy AI in a AAA game that was released in 2023. They used the same shooting mechanism from Fallout 3 and 4 and just added some new weapons. That's it. The shooting is clanky as hell. Just look at the Cyberpunk 2.0 version's shooting. This is called modern combat. The same quest style that Skyrim and Fallout had are also in Starfield. Go to that place, kill some enemy, mirror with them, get that thing and bring that thing. How many times are they gonna use that? Their character animation is funny and horrible for a 2023 game. Look at the dynamic animations of RDR 2, RE2 Remake and Witcher 3. Look how they evolve with time. And then look at the Starfield animation. Bethesda does not even try this at all. It is a shame that the company that used to make iconic games like Skyrim and Fallout 3 cannot evolve with time. That's it for today guys. Share with us your thoughts on Bethesda and your most favorite Bethesda release so far. If you like this video, please dump a like here and subscribe to our channel for more gaming related content like this. Until next time, ta-ra.